success stories. I remember, it's actually a bankruptcy that I filed. So it was a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. It's the kind where you're reorganizing your debt. This lady came in, she was older, she was a grandmother. Her grandkids had just been using her like she was a bank, basically. I mean, she couldn't say no to them. They were absolutely abusing the privilege of being able to ask grandma for money and use her car, use her house, etc. And the bottom line is she wound up sunk so far in debt that she couldn't pay her mortgage and she got behind on it. They foreclosed on her house. So she came in, she's ready to file bankruptcy. I felt terrible for her because this is a lady who had, no prior bankruptcies, no prior debt issues before her grandkids started doing this to her. Of course, we had the big conversation about how it's time to cut the grandkids off, right? Like, you can't just file bankruptcy and then wind up back in the same shoes again. And then I filed for her, and for me, it was a pretty cut and dried case. I mean, I don't want this to sound bad, but I almost didn't even have to think very hard about that one because the terms of the bankruptcy were so simple to me. And I didn't realize how nervous she was about the entire thing because she wasn't asking me questions that were telling me that. But we go to the hearing, which is the last hearing where the bankruptcy is approved. And everything goes well, and after the hearing, I always talk to my client and say, okay, here's what all that legal mumbo jumbo meant, right? And she just started crying and she hugged me. And she said, I was so afraid I thought I was gonna lose my house. And it was one of those things where I was like, I've gotta get out of my own head. Because to me, I was just going to another day at work. It wasn't something that I had realized the gravity of. But this woman thought she was going to be homeless if this didn't work out. And it kind of made me realize and really appreciate my job more than I had been up until that point, because my average Tuesday can keep someone with a roof over their head. It can literally prevent homelessness for one person at a time. And, you can talk a lot, and I hear a lot of law firms talk all about their biggest verdict and all that. I kind of don't care about that as much as I care about the fact that that grandmother got to stay in her house. And when she hugged me, it was probably one of the best experiences of my legal career.